We have each become a small world. You close your eyes, so you can't see the signs. You try praying for rain, but all in vain. Climate change has been experienced differently in all parts of the world. Floods, scorching heat waves, melting glaciers. These are all signs of climate change.
Rains have been falling in East Africa for the last 1 month. Kenya and Rwanda seem to be the hardest hit, with the death toll now clocking 300. An estimated 20,000 animals have also been killed and over 200,000 people displaced. And the number might rise from the latest tragedy in Nakuru, Kenya. Many have been displaced and lost livelihoods as water levels continues to rise. Meteorologists say the rains may continue until the end of May. In Tanzania, things are not different. 9 people have reported to have died in April floods in commercial capital Dar es Salaam. The government has ordered schools to close for several days as a result of flooding. Rwanda too has also been hit. The country's spokesman for the Ministry of Disaster Management, Jean-Claude Twashime, says 18 people have been killed in landslides. Several others are still missing. The western districts of Karongi and Rubavu are the worst hit. As the weathermen predict a continuation of rains in the region, more cases are expected. Infrastructure like roads and schools have also been most affected. But the true extent of the damage will be known after the end of the floods.
In China alone, the 1931 China floods killed an average of 4 million people. This is one of the worst disasters recorded in world history. Industrialization contributes to 70% of pollution in the atmosphere. I wonder what will this all look like in 50 years' time. Look how the city's shadows grow new forests for us. The rise in sea level testifies the change in our climate. The beaches have been deserted in the midday sun, except for the lone wave of rubbish, old car tires, plastic bottles rightly tossed back by an ocean's mood swings. World leaders don't ask questions like, how is my oil faring? It keeps best underground, in the dark. It doesn't do well in the light. How is the wind blowing? I try to keep it moving, keep it on the muscle. We stand and gaze into the trade winds, discovering that the sun is the only El Dorado. But we know the hard truth, that it is the only good whose rays will grace and sear our skins.
If the world warms by 3 degrees, the Arctic is ice-free all summer. The Amazon rainforest is drying out. Snow caps on the Alps all but disappear. El Niño's extreme weather patterns become the status quo. The Mediterranean and parts of Europe wither in searing summer heat. This could be our world plus 3 degrees.
In a 3-degree warmer world, these kinds of summer heat waves will just be the norm. So an extremely hot summer by this point will actually bring the kinds of temperatures into Central Europe that you now experience in the Middle East and in Northern Africa.
The summer of 2003 may have opened a window onto life in a world that's 3 degrees warmer. All across Europe, an unrelenting heat wave developed into a natural disaster. Paris tends to empty in the summer. Many elderly stay behind. Nobody could have anticipated the danger they'd be in. Emergency room doctors were the first to realize something was terribly wrong. Emergency room Dr. Patrick Palou quickly realizes the heat wave is turning into a catastrophe.
You had such a heat wave comparable to a flamethrower igniting an entire area. The number of people who died on the night of August 10 is between 2,500 and 3,000.
The death toll would top 30,000 across Europe. In France alone, over 14,000 died in just a few weeks.
The heat wave of 2003 was probably the first huge catastrophe due to global warming that affected a rich country. A rich country that thought itself to be protected from everything.
I assume you're using solar. Some countries are making the effort to switch from hydropower to solar energy, but it's only the beginning of the journey to strive for change for a better world for the future generation. In September 2019 across the world, these are some of the images we saw on social platforms and media channels. Youth went on streets demanding world leaders to take action on the changing climate. With no action taken to combat the climate crisis, we the children and youth will inherit an earth whose rainforest lungs breath a tale of waste, inherit an earth where the grass goes longing at the mere mention of green. Across the world, the temperatures recorded was on average 0.4 degrees above the normal.
Firefighters, no match for flames this ferocious and this intense.
That curtain of fire igniting palm trees here on the Bolivian-Brazilian border, fueled by wind, the flames leaping across the dry brush.
It's shocking how fast we've seen this fire march. It's moved about 200 yards in the past 5 minutes alone, fueled by this wind. We're going to try to get moving a little bit faster to get out of its way. Keep going.
Geronimo, a rancher here, tells me a tanker dropped water on the fire nearby, but it's no use. He says it's all going to be gone.
He said there's nothing else to do. We're just going to wait for the fire to pass.
As a cloud of smoke rears up behind his farm, we offer him a ride out, but he insists on staying, certain his cattle will come back. We escape, just as Geronimo's farm and the road are enveloped in impenetrable fire and smoke.
Wow, that entire farm where we were just minutes ago seems to be gone.
It's just one apocalyptic scene amidst a swarm of fires ravaging Brazil and its Amazon rainforest, spilling out into Bolivia, Paraguay, and Peru.
We've seen a dramatic increase in deforestation in the Amazon recently, and it is driven by humans. And this is happening in part due to demand for food and other resources from the forest, and exacerbated by the decline in the enforcement of laws.
The area of smoke from these fires is so large it is visible from space. NASA releasing these images, a carbon monoxide plume hovering over the Amazon.
It's a double whammy from a climate perspective. We're losing forests, which are some of the best technology we have right now to slow climate change. Trees suck carbon out of the atmosphere. At the same time as the forests burn, we're releasing huge stores of carbon into the atmosphere.
We ask the future one question: should we dance or break while grating our teeth at the news of our inheritance? We are spinning from one collision to another. Don't hope to migrate to another planet. Earth is our home. It is everyone's responsibility. We must learn to protect it. We must preserve it at all cost. Start by planting a tree, name it, and nature for a greener world. The world has an average of 7 billion people. That means 7 billion new trees will be planted in the next 1 year. My tree. My life.